Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Why this beat so crazy?
We will make America proud again. And you try to kill our we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Look at that beautiful flag. What a time to be alive. America. Oh, sweet America. What's going on, family? I hope everybody is blessed, well, healthy, and that nothing but the best is going on in all you beautiful people's life, man. And we got some big things to get into in today's video, man. You know, it's been one of a week. I tell you, one eventful week for Trump, the Trump administration, man. Doing exactly what he campaigned on, you know, and the radical left, these activists. We have Trump derangement syndrome, Musk derangement syndrome, Tesla derangement syndrome. These people have lost their mind. People think they outrank the president. District judge think they outrank the president, man. I tell you. And what's the point of elections? Send some things to the Supreme Court. Big things are happening. Trump is getting exactly what he wanted. And we have big news on Elon Musk, the Doge team, especially after that transparent interview we just had this past week. More news on Zelensky, Ukraine. A lot of big things in this video, man. Executive order. But seeing what people are posting and seeing some of these things go viral is amazing, man. Trump was asked by a reporter, what is a woman? Can you define what a woman is, you know? And I'm just so glad that we are back, man. We are so back. Common sense is back, man. This is what we voted for. Check out what Trump said to the reporter after asked, what is a woman?
What is a woman, and why is it important that we understand the difference between men and women?
Well, it's sort of easy to answer for me, because a woman is somebody that can have a baby under certain circumstances. She has a quality. A woman is a person who's much smarter than a man, I've always found. A woman is a person that doesn't give a man even a chance of success. And a woman's a person that in many cases has been treated very badly, because I think that what happens with this crazy issue of men being able to play in women's sports is just ridiculous and very unfair to women and very demeaning to women. And that's got to be about a 94%. I read today it was a 94% issue. And I watched the other day, a congressman, a well-known Democrat congressman, fighting for the fact that men should be allowed to compete essentially in women's sports. And I say, I hope they keep that going, because they'll never win another election. That's a big deal. But women are basically incredible people, do so much for our country. And we love our women, and we're going to take care of our women.
Amen. You know, Democrats have lost their mind. These activists have lost their mind. We just seen in our last video, a guy blamed gun violence for suicide. Called it gun suicide. Gun suicide. I've never heard that. I'm just saying, y'all. And literally tries to fight the Republican in Tennessee, that Justin Pearson fella in Tennessee. I mean, on a gun control bill. I mean, it's just ridiculous, man. You know, but a lot of these issues are not, like I say, not even 80-20. It's 90-10 issues, man. And they have lost. But Trump is also going viral right now, due to him losing weight, and he's looking amazing, man. Everybody's saying 78 is the new 28, aging in reverse. But seeing the video right here go viral, Trump is looking amazing, man. Like I said, he looks better than he did than his first term. Yeah, ain't nobody falling down. Ain't nobody going on vacation. Ain't nobody fell asleep in front of everybody. Yeah. Full of energy. And you can see he has lost weight. But I've heard that his doctors have been getting on his butt lately. You know, I know, because we know our president likes a hamburger and a Diet Coke, you know. Yeah. But his doctors have been getting on his butt, keeping him accountable. RFK. Yeah. But there it is, man. But these leftists, these activists are still out there. But I've seen these idiots still at Tesla dealerships. They're still boycotting and protesting. Elon Musk. These people are still standing outside dealerships. But we have seen many arrests. Even the arson, the guy that was firebombing dealerships has been arrested, and he is in. I mean, I seen him looking at all those counts, those charges. Yeah, tell that fella have a good rest of your life, sir. Have a good rest of your life, man. And I love when people are made an example out of and held accountable, man. I really do. And there's a lot of people that need to be held accountable, man. A lot of people. You know, like this fella here. Look at pencil. This guy here, pencil neck. Disgrace, man. You know, absolute disgrace.
Do you plan to take
We're landing right now.
Mr. President, do you plan to take Greenland by force?
Does today's inflation report impact?
We're landing right now. I don't want to see anybody get hurt.
We don't want to see you get hurt.
Have a good time.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Good luck. Sit down. We're landing right now.
Mr. President, do you plan to take Greenland by force?
I love the fake news. I don't want to see the fake news get hurt, man. Trump is something else, man. And this clip went viral too. I had a good laugh yesterday, y'all. Oh my goodness. I tell you, man, Tim Burch is the wrong Republican to walk up on asking questions to.
Congressman Perry, do you trust Trump's national security team to keep our war plans top secret?
Do you trust your mother every night to fix your hot pockets and make sure your Game Boy is turned on?
Oh man, do you trust your mother every night to make you hot pockets and make sure your Game Boy is turned on? I tell you, man. That is the wrong way. I keep telling them, when will they learn, man?
Perry, do you trust Trump's national security team to keep our war plans top secret?
Do you trust your mother every night to fix your hot pockets and make sure your Game Boy is turned on?
Oh man, he is undefeated, man. And even when he goes on CNN, you know, and I still don't understand why they ought to just shut CNN down, man. They're one of the reasons why we got all this crap going on, and these people are protesting. Look, outside dealerships and all kind of stuff, man. But this is actually a reverse. This is actually patriots outside of they're having Doge rallies and outside of Tesla dealerships. We love seeing this right here. We love Doge. A lot of patriots out there, man. Love to see this, you know. But there's a rally. There's a rally going on right now, again, of protesters outside of a Tesla dealerships, man. It's ridiculous. But I love seeing pro Elon and Doge rallies outside of local Tesla dealerships, man. In New Jersey, looks like in New Jersey. Love seeing that. Love it, you know, because these people have lost their mind, man. Lost their mind.
That okay, so Elon Musk stated in a recent interview that SSA, y'all listen up, the SSA paid $71.8 billion in improper payments and waste. And also stated because of these findings, that people that are receiving Social Security will not get less, that they're going to get a boost, that they're going to actually start receiving more on their Social Security. So all these speculations that were going around that President Donald Trump was taking Social Security, that is so not true, y'all. If anything, it's seeming to me that he's trying to make it a lot better, okay?
Love to see people just, again, that's why I tell you guys, create your accounts, post, share, speak your mind. I mean, post content, man. Because again, this is one reason why they lost, man. We are the media. Everybody has tuned out and turned off the TV with the fake news. You know, with all the fear mongering, the lies, the bias, you know, they just can't seem to tell the truth. You know, you turn on CNN right now, figuring, oh, Trump is bad, Elon Musk is bad, they're Nazis, they're cutting everything, they're taking your rights away. They literally got up on TV, on MSNBC, and said they're going to deport American citizens. And I'm looking at this like, did they really just say this? We've already seen this on ABC, The Spew, the women on the, not The View, The Spew, and Whoopi. Well, it came out of Whoopi's mouth, you know. But yeah, on MSNBC, it just doesn't stop, man, with the lies, the fear mongering. This is why their ratings have tanked and their people have tuned out and they have lost the people's trust. So shout out to this beautiful lady here, man, and those patriots that are posting on their accounts. Keep posting. I tell you guys, keep posting, man. Keep people informed and let people actually know what's really going on, man. But I seen this video on my feed a couple minutes ago about Trump just signed the most important executive order of his presidency from RJ. So I just want to check it out and see what he's talking about.
March 29th, and President Trump has just signed the single most important EO of his presidency. Hands down, this order's gotten no press. Nobody's reporting on it, but it is the start to stopping the massive waste and fraud that plagues the federal government. Also, Ukraine's president, Volodymyr Zelensky, has gone full-blown insane. Trump's had enough. Putin's now definitely had enough. Something is about to change in Ukraine. We're going to show you. And Tuesday, April 1st, a huge election taking place in Wisconsin, something that could fundamentally change Trump's trajectory for the next 4 years, make or break his presidency. And more stories as well from around the country. But before we get started, thank you for liking. Don't miss most from America's bank account executive order. That's the name of it. Signed on March 28th, America's bank's presidency. Thus far, the modernizing payments to and from America's bank account executive order. That's the name of it. Signed on March 28th, along with a dozen other presidential directives. But this one, for whatever reason, slipped under the radar. There's been no press coverage, no one reporting on just how significant this is and why he did it. This has been 45 days in the pipeline. It took them 45 days to make this even possible. Last week when Congress, or 2 weeks ago, when Congress passed Trump's budget, his CR, that funded the government until the end of the fiscal year, in it was a clause that gave Trump, the executive, the president, the deference to decide what should and shouldn't be paid for. Even for congressionally appropriated funds, the president can now decide legally if that money should be spent or not, if it's worth spending all that money. This was a big reason why Dems freaked out over this CR and were shocked that Schumer didn't demand this specific clause at least be removed. Watch.
So I want to tell you why I'm voting against the Republican funding bill when it comes up for a vote tomorrow. You deserve to know the stakes here. First of all, you get this, Trump has a plan and he's implementing it. It gives Trump brand new spending powers. For instance, the ability to start new military programs that haven't even been authorized by Congress. At this moment of crisis, that sounds like a really dangerous idea. And it takes key guardrails off of presidential spending authority. That allows Trump and Musk to more easily move money from one account to the other.
Listen, I understand that had we gone into a shutdown, even for a handful of days, it would have been difficult. But it would have sent a message that the Democratic Party is not going to be bullied by Donald Trump. We are not going to let them write spending bills unilaterally that cut programs for people we care about, that give the president new and extraordinary power.
That clause was added in part for this very EO, so Trump would be legally allowed to order all 58 federal agencies to earmark all invoices, payment requests with an ID number, categorize the payment, and include a description of what the payment is for and a point of contact for said payment. Currently, the Treasury has no clue what they're paying out. Every payment these agencies request gets automatically approved. 0 payments have been rejected in like 40 years. Elon tried mandating this himself back in February, how he sent a memo to all agency heads to start doing this. He instructed Treasury not to approve any payment without this criteria, but it didn't happen. Everyone just ignored the request. Treasury Secretary Scott Bennett, couldn't do anything about it. He couldn't just stop making the payments. To do this correctly, they needed an executive order by the president requiring it, mandating it. Well, that's what this is. Watch Elon and one of his Doge employees explain what a game changer this EO is. Roll the tape.
And it is alarming how the financial operations and financial management is set up today. There is actually really only one bank account that's used to disperse all monies that go out of the federal government.
Time out. One bank account.
It's a big one. It's a big one.
It's a big one.
It's a big one. A couple weeks ago it had $800 billion in it, but it's the Treasury General account. So when you hear, some of my colleagues here, what they're talking about in terms of the fraud, you have to ask, well, why is this allowed to happen at a financial level? Well, it's actually quite simple but alarming. The Treasury, up until now, and thanks to President Trump, we're fixing this. In fact, there was an executive order that he just signed the other day, which is protecting America's bank account, because it really is the taxpayers' money. One, we're changing the culture. The culture is been not a lot of caring and not a lot of commitment to doing what's right relative to financial operations. There's a $500 billion of fraud every year. There's hundreds of billions of dollars of improper payments, and we can't pass an audit. The consolidated financial report is produced by Treasury, and we cannot pass it on. We have material weaknesses. What that means is that if I was a public company CFO, I would effectively be removed. I couldn't file financial statements. I couldn't issue securities, which of course we depend on. Can't pass an audit.
Right. The federal government cannot pass an audit. It's impossible. In fact, in order to pass an audit, you need the information necessary to pass an audit. You need to have the payment codes, you need to have the payment explanation, and you need to have a person you can contact to understand why that payment was made. None of those things were mandatory until just recently, just a few weeks ago. In fact, maybe last week?
Yeah, we're serving 580 plus agencies. And up until very recently, effectively they could say make the payment and Treasury just sent it out as fast as possible. No verification. And so what we're doing is what any household would do. But imagine you're a household, you have a bank account, everyone has an ATM card connected to that account, everyone has a checkbook connected to that account. It's not just your children, it's not just your parents, it's your in-laws, it's your extended family, and they all can go to the account and disperse funds. No questions asked, no justification, no verification.
Going forward, all these payments will have that criteria now attached, which means the $500 billion in fraud the IG identified can now be stopped going forward. We can now identify it, track it, and eliminate it. And you got to wonder, why were Dems so opposed to implementing this system? They fought like hell to prevent this. I wonder why. In another story, Ukraine's president, Volodymyr Zelensky, has lost his freaking mind, gone completely off the deep end. Zelensky rejecting Trump's new mineral agreement that recognizes U.S. support as loans, saying in a press conference yesterday that he won't recognize past U.S. military aid as debt. Saying Ukraine will not recognize U.S. military aid as debt. We're grateful for the support, but this is not a credit, and we don't owe you anything. We will not allow it. Zelensky also saying that they're unwilling to negotiate with Russian President Vladimir Putin or with someone who would represent Russia, saying instead he'll only negotiate with the businesses of Russia, whatever that means. Well, on March 26th, get this, Zelensky goes on this Ukrainian news show, and declares Putin will not be alive much longer, that once this happens, it will be all over. Yes, he really said that. Watch.
But it also depends on his age. He will die soon, and that's a fact, and it will come to an end. And it could come to an end even before he ends his absolutely safe and historically losing life. Historically lost life.
Then, late last night, guess what happened?
The superstar actor in his costume, huh?
One of Putin's limos in his motorcade explodes. All of this just happened last night. One of Putin's limousines exploded and caught on fire in Moscow. It's pretty hush-hush at the moment, but you don't gotta be a genius to connect the dots here. This was an assassination attempt by the Ukrainians. That's what it looks like, which means Zelensky's lost his mind. Political assassinations are outlawed by the Geneva Convention for a reason, and you gotta think, any covert action like this against Russia, of all countries, a nuclear superpower, would have to be greenlit by the US or NATO, which it wasn't. So Zelensky's gone rogue. He's the single greatest detriment to peace. And yeah, if I were a betting man, I'd wager his lifespan just got incredibly shorter. In another story, Donald Trump has just revoked Lieutenant Colonel Alex Vindman's security clearance. Vindman was the man at the center of Trump's first impeachment, testifying to Congress about that infamous call Trump had with Zelensky. For whatever dumb reason, Trump had that guy on his national security account. So how or why that happened, we'll never know. But he was, and was working behind the scenes with Democrats.
We done Obama yet? We done Barry? A whole bunch of them on the list still. Yeah. I mean, hey, they did the same thing to him, so.
To set Trump up as much as possible. Watch the moment Devin Nunes caught Vindman allegedly perjuring himself under oath, something that Biden's DOJ never looked into. That's about to change. Watch.
Mr. Vindman, you testified in your deposition that you did not know the whistleblower.
Ranking member, it's Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, please.
Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, you testified in the deposition that you did not know who the whistleblower was or is.
I do not know who the whistleblower is. That is.
So how is it possible for you to name these people and then out the whistleblower?
Per the advice of my counsel, I've been advised not to answer specific questions about members of the intelligence community.
Now, since that happened and him leaving government, he's used this security clearance to book interviews, do consults, consultations, security consultations. That's what these people do. It's why keeping their clearance matters so much to them. It's how they make a living after they leave government. They get booked on shows like MSNBC and CNN. This should have happened months ago, 2 months ago when Trump first got into office. He should have done this.
That's what we said.
Here he was in February claiming that Elon Musk is a threat to national security, speaking with a level of certainty and authority because, again, he had a security clearance. Not anymore. Roll the tape.
Russia has been using different levers, whether that's corruption networks. In this case, it's influencers like Donald Trump, like Elon Musk, to really kind of sow discord. And it's particularly troubling with Elon Musk in this case because Elon Musk has access to state secrets. He has top secret security clearance. It's possible that some of that is seeping through. Putin has been very effective in playing both Trump and Elon, and he's been using the richest man in the world to do his bidding. In some cases, that's encouraging him probably to support Donald Trump.
And watch how quickly we never see this guy on any of these networks again because he lost his clearance, and about time. And that wasn't the only person who had their security clearance revoked yesterday. DNI Tulsi Gabbard announcing, per POTUS directive, I have revoked former President Joe Biden's security clearance and revoked clearances and access to classified info for Kamala Harris, Hillary Clinton, Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, Fiona Hill, and Alexander Vindman. Good riddance. In another story, April 1st is the Wisconsin Supreme Court election. Wisconsin voters will need to vote for either Brad Schimel, the conservative, or Susan Crawford, the Democratic candidate. This is a big swing state altering election. It will determine the court's ideological balance, swinging it one side or the other, impacting an upcoming decision, by the way, on congressional redistricting, where Democrats plan to redraw Wisconsin's congressional districts. Today, right now, there are 8 congressional districts. 6 of the 8 are held by Republicans. 2 are held by Democrats. They want to redraw these existing district boundaries to favor their party, increasing the number of districts they can win. Watch Hakeem Jeffries explain this. Watch.
In Wisconsin, that's a 50-50 race because we know Wisconsin's a 50-50 state.
Yeah.
And we have a strong Democratic candidate. Whoever wins is going to determine who has the majority in the Wisconsin Supreme Court. Why is that important? Because there are gerrymandered congressional lines right now in Wisconsin. Wisconsin's a 50-50 state, as I mentioned, but there are 6 Republicans and only 2 Democrats out of an 8-person delegation because the lines are broken.
Right.
And as soon as possible, we need to be able to revisit that and have fair lines. The only way for that to be even a significant possibility is if you have an enlightened Supreme Court. And so, you know, I think that's an incredibly important race.
The only way that's even a possibility is if we have an enlightened Supreme Court, he says. Yeah, we all know what Democrats find to be enlightening.
Yeah, we know.
Additionally, Wisconsin voters will decide on a constitutional amendment regarding voter ID. A constitutional amendment's a big deal, meaning no more games, folks. If this passes, voter ID will now be required via their state constitution. That would be huge.
Good.
So if you live in Wisconsin, get out and vote Tuesday.
There it is, man. But I really like what Elon Musk had said right here in this interview, at the end of this interview.
You're pretty close to him now. You spend a lot of time with him. What's something that people wouldn't know?
I think the president is a good man. I think he is an honest man. And I've yet to see him do anything mean or anything that is wrong, that I would say morally wrong. Not even once.
They are putting that man through hell, man. You know. But again, before we get out of here, prayers for the Trump administration, Elon Musk, the Doge team, you know, and doing exactly what they campaigned on. You know, but we got this radical left, these activists, these leftists that are just not stopping at any cost, man. It's ridiculous. But next 100 days are going to be very important. We're going to be here to break it and cover it. I love you guys. I'm wishing the best in all you guys' life. And I will catch y'all in the next one, man. Peace and love, family.